Good.
I can add it, but you go ahead, man.
Okay.
Morning, Denise.
Because you got to add that one.
We are just so festive this morning. Good morning. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. See, look at that. We will stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mary, can you see?
All right, let's move on to our agenda confirmation. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, we will have a short presentation by Fair Board members.
Yep.
And so I think it would make sense to add that maybe after open forum.
Okay.
And then another addition under County Administrator number 5. It's required that the board give a summary of the performance review that was conducted in closed session at our last meeting.
Okay.
So summary of my.
Summary review, yeah.
Yes.
Are there any other additions to the agenda?
Where are we putting the summary review?
We're going to put the summary right.
5 under
Number
Commissioner.
5 under the administrator. All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
So we have a motion by Erica. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Barry. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, let's move on to the minutes from December 2nd. Do we have any corrections to the minutes on December 2nd?
Mr. Chair, on page 3 or 4 under highway, it's talking about the motion second to approve the capital purchase expense of it. It should say tandem plow truck
Oh, yeah.
for the and accessories for in the amount of 3, the plow truck and the accessories.
Yeah,
are
the plow
included
truck
in that.
and the accessories are a total of that. Oh,
And then in the fiscal year 26, so that was in there too. That was about it.
I did have one under, well, let me find it first. I think it was under appointments, the Northwest Regional Advisory Committee. I don't think that's what that's called, isn't it? Isn't it
the Northwest
Emergency Radio?
Regional Emergency Communications Board.
There you go.
Well, wait a minute. No, that was an appointment to the Regional Advisory Committee. Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
Yeah, because the two together make the board,
gotcha.
and that's the other one is made up, the other committee is made up of county commissioners.
Okay,
Does
that's
any-
all I had.
Yep, does anybody else have any?
Yes, one more
Okay.
thing. Under, on the page 1, under agenda minutes, on the agenda part of it, it says remove the Highway 2027 tandem truck purchase and add the count. So it should be the 2027, it was a 3/4 ton or a ton pickup, wasn't it, that we removed? Not the plow.
Not the tandem truck. Yes. And then I just had one question on page 3 of 4 under the assessor. The first bullet point, is 2.7 decrease correct, or was it 2.5?
I thought it was 2.5, but I think that was I don't think it was a hard number. But.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's fine. Does anybody else have any corrections to the minutes of December 2nd? Let's move on to the minutes of December 11th for the TNT. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to
Are
that?
we going to approve both?
Yeah,
of them
at
together?
the same time, yeah, we'll approve them together.
Motion to approve the minutes of December 2nd and the TNT December 11th meeting.
All right, so we have a motion by Barry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Phil. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, let's move on to our open forum. Do we have anybody on the list, Nate? All right. So now let's bring up our Fair Board leadership to tell us what's going on and the cool stuff. If you guys, I think we all know you, but if you guys could introduce yourselves anyway.
Make motion know, seeing only Travis Shower.
I'm Carla Lindquist.
Casey Christensen.
Thanks for having us, and sorry for not getting here sooner. We need to get here more often, but it's life happens with a fair board that has no retirees on it, so.
I thought you were retired.
What's
I
that?
thought you were retired.
Not yet, I wish. So, recap of the 2025 fair. There was a lot of stress going into the 2025 fair with road construction, gymnastics building. There was a lot of unknowns, Turkey Days, East Otter Tail County Fair. And when it was all said and done, way above expectations of what we were expecting was gonna happen. So that's good. That's with the help of the county. With, you know, we asked for a lot of help and from volunteers and the fair board members, and it really was a good fair. Was it our best fair? No, not by any means, but it was good. You know, the rodeo held its own again. You know, it's a little bit, you know, it's a bad time of the week for the rodeo, but you know, we can't go up against the demo derbies either. That's our big ticket items, but I think we did really good.
Mr. Chair, Travis, when you say it wasn't the best fair, are you talking about just mere numbers of people that come through?
Dollars for, you know, the dollars that come in. You know, we don't charge for a gate. Everything's free to come in. So we gauge how the fair goes by, you know, our demo, our grandstand numbers, the carnival. So our big tickets, we got the carnival, we got the 2 nights of the demo derby and the rodeo. So that those are our income for the year. That's basically it. So now obviously the rodeo on a Friday and Saturday night would be better, but you know, when the demo derby brings in 25 to 28,000 a night, we just can't, we're not seeing the numbers on the rodeo to risk, you know, changing those dates or whatever. You know, in the past, we've tried the tractor pull. We lose anywhere from 25 to 5,000. You know, we can't do that. We're here to provide a service, you know, to try and different things for the community, but we can't go backwards either. And that's kind of how we gauge everything, is how our grandstand events are. So we were down, you know, our derby wasn't bad. Were we down 3,000 to 4,000 average the 2 nights of the derby?
Yeah, I think 7,000 total.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and the rodeo kind of holds its own, and we have some sponsorships for that. And, you know, and like, again, we provide a service, so if we don't lose 5 or 10 grand, we're okay with that. You know, and we try to keep our grandstands are probably the lowest of anybody, I would argue, in the state. And the reason for that is we feel that, you know, we try to get families there. We try to keep it budget friendly, you know, so a family of 5 can come in and go to the fair and maybe go to the carnival and whatever, you know. So we're in discussions, do we up our grandstand event, which we probably should with the improvements we need to have on the grounds. I mean, there's definitely some things that we need some big ticket items that we need to get fixed here in the next few years that should have been probably done years ago. But, you know, I think the biggest misconception, and I talk to a lot of people, is the fair doesn't make a lot of money. You know, our main goal is to, you know, if we break the fair even, that's good, you know.
It's quite obviously farmers are managing that, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's break even.
But, you know, last year, you know, I feel probably wasn't on there, we put that $100,000 worth of new bleachers up. You know, they were unsafe, we had some issues, so we decided to do that. And our plan was going in that we were gonna pull money out of some CDs to make that happen. Well, with the end of the fair and the money coming in and grant money the way it is, we didn't have to dive into the CDs like we were planning to pay that. That's all paid. And, you know, did the fair make money? No, break even at best, but at least with everything coming in, we didn't have to dive into the CDs, which is a home run in my opinion. So, now we just move on to the next year. And
I think it helped too. We split it up over 2 years because the dirt work and the prep work was done after the 24 fair and then the bleachers for the 25 fair. So we actually were able to split it up. So we got part of the project paid for with the fair proceeds from 24, and then we finalized the project with 25. So it actually was, the delay in getting the bleachers there was a huge benefit for us because it allowed us to put it into 2 different fairs.
yeah. One other thing I want to say, I want to thank Sheriff Glander and the county for mowing some grass and stuff down there. You know, I don't think people understand how big it is when I asked Sheriff to come a couple years ago and just try and be there during the day, just make a presence. We haven't had any issues since that happened. Just the presence of him, you know, we pay him an hourly wage to come do it. It's well worth it. Just those guys walking around, you know, people see them, things, you know, before we never had any law enforcement presence during the fair, and, you know, you have kids doing stuff and things are happening and that just happens. So we want to thank him a lot for doing that and being at the derbies. The derbies run a lot better when there's some law enforcement there. I mean, I think a lot of people understand how passionate these derby people are. You know, doing this for 20 years, I'm glad I haven't gotten smacked yet, but it gets right there. So, you know, it takes a community to put the fair on. You know, we're just 14 people that kind of manage it a little bit, but we ask a lot of help from a lot of people, and we get it, so that's nice that way. But kind of in closing here, and I'll open it up for questions, but, you know, one question I have for you is did all you commissioners make it to the fair, and what were your thoughts? You know, and then after that, I'm free for any questions that you guys have.
I always enjoy the fair. My favorite part, and I've said this before, I have never attended the livestock auction prior to becoming a commissioner, and I'm always so impressed with the livestock auction.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy the community support that they have. It's unbelievable. Yeah, we have one of the better auctions in the state.
It's,
Mr. Chair, Travis, and group here, I feel like this is almost an interrogation. I mean, we're in this kind of together.
No, it is.
But I've never been to the fair and seen it from this vantage point. I've always just went and, you know, went on my rides, see my animals and walked out. So just seeing how the board operates, I mean, that's all new to me. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay, and, you know, feel free to, if you ever have a question, give me a call or come to I know there's two commissioners that come to the fair board meetings. Come and listen and ask if you got questions. You know, we'd like to give as much information to you guys. You know, you guys give us 20 grand a year. Very appreciative of that. You know, at some point with some of the improvements, we may be coming back to talk to you about some things, but, you know, like I said, it takes the community, it takes you guys, it takes everybody to get this thing done if we're gonna, you know, have something that's affordable for the community.
And Travis, can you let us know a couple of the big projects that you have? I know you have a barn that needs to be
Our biggest
remodeled?
big ticket item right now is our horse barn is shot. The roof is shot, and it's one of those deals that, you know, it's probably unsafe now. I mean, we patch it up every year, but that's kind of our big ticket item. And, you know, can we afford to go out and spend $400,000 to build a new one? No, so we're trying to figure out how to navigate that. We have some options. It might take multiple people to do it, you know. I know you guys have heard, I don't know if I'm not ready to speak publicly to, you know, kind of some of the options we have yet, but with the other parties involved. But yeah, so that's our big ticket item. And, you know, we've talked a lot about, you know, just what's the word I'm looking for, you know, how it looks when you get there.
The curb appeal.
The curb appeal. It's a double-edged sword because, you know, when I was 12 years old, it's kind of the beef barn stuff kind of looks the same. Well, we'd like to add a little flair to it, but on the other hand, that's a big memory for people my age group. You walk in there, it's like, you know, everything kind of comes back. The old gray tinted beef barn, and, you know, as long as things are, you know, upkept structurally to be safe, I'm okay with that. But on the other hand, it'd be nice to have something where people come in and they see some changes and spruce it up a little bit. So, but it's tough. We got to figure out what we're going to spend the money on first, and getting the money to do that is the big problem. So,
Mr. Chair, I want to start out by saying thank you to you and all the volunteers at you know, the fair is, like you said, is not a moneymaker. It's a community service, and it makes our community so much better, and it helps the kids in 4-H and leadership, and even in the open classes. We have the library and I mean, Boys and Girls Clubs and all the, we have such volunteerism in Becker County. It's just amazing. I think we are, in my opinion, one of the leaders in the state for volunteers within the community. So just a great shout out, thank you for all the work that is done there. You go to the fair and you watch, especially during the shows, there are so many people, so many parts moving, and you can see the hair falling out of Travis's head at times, but it's a great service that you provide, and thank you. The other thing is, we are partners in the transit building too, and we're kind of at a standstill on buildings, but because of another opportunity that's come up, so we'll have to take a look at what happens in the future on that. But I think we have a good partnership there, and neither party, we want what's best for both parties. So I don't think there's any issues but we have to get that building some revenue out of that one way or the other. And I don't know what that is. I think EDA is actually looking at some options, but that's a partnership that both parties have to agree on. But I would like us to get a better use on that during the non-fair times and stuff. So,
And, with that, there's a lot of options, but, this is just me speaking personally, we if we were to take it or whatever, we would have to rent it out either way, because we can't afford to pay the heat and all that stuff without getting revenue, So, I'm open to any options.
I think we're getting off topic here a little bit, but I think Carrie's, one of her tasks is to find out what if we did rent something out, what timeline do you guys need that building and stuff like that. So it's just, I think there's opportunities to get some revenue off that. And again, we're kind of in a holding pattern in any buildings right now, and I think most people are aware of what the possibilities are for us with the college and stuff. But so anyway, I just, again, thank you for everything you do. The setting that the fair is in, with the, you have the huge trees and some rolling hills, and it's just a great spot. The buildings all can be improved, no question about that, but it's just such a beautiful spot wandering in and out of the trees there. Nothing better than walking through mature trees and going to different buildings. So,
and, it's funny, I ask a lot of people all the time, what could we improve better? And, it would be nice to have a little bit bigger footprint. Everything's pretty constricted there, but then talk to a lot of people and they like it because the elderly people can come in and they can hit them all without having to walk so far in heat, or, everything's kind of right there, so we kind of got to gauge the community of we don't want to try and find a happy medium somewhere. If we build new buildings, we're kind of trying to widen our footprint a little bit, but yet, people have good arguments, either way about how it's set up and what to do. And you have some people that absolutely don't want nothing changed, you have that. So the best we can do is talk to a lot of people. And
I think too, like when entry days and stuff like that and exit days, the chaos is crazy with the congested footprint. But, if you go in knowing that and they say, hey, I expect to be delayed there. It's not, you can make, you do things better. It's kind of like when we go on a trip, and you don't have plans, it's like, things are going to go wrong, but make those things go wrong the best part of the day, and I think that you go in with that attitude and say, hey, when you come in, know that you're going to be waiting, and this is what we are, and
I was fully prepared going into this fair with all the road construction. It's kind of frustrating. Really, the city can't get that one street done right across the road. The gymnastics building just constricted everything. So we were kind of prepared that I was going to get an earful a lot. And out of all the years, I've been on there 20-some years, I hardly had any negative comments. I don't know if it's just people understood it, the issue we had, but our parking, nobody really complained. Everybody took it in stride. And, weather has a lot to do with it. When it's not 90 degrees, it's usually a pretty good fair for getting, when it gets hot, people get fired up. But so it was great. It was a good year. So.
And just another point out, it's been a few years now, but the fair, I think this number of years ago, but the fair took a cut in their monies a few years. We're talking about 10 years ago. We were having every year is a difficult year fiscally for the county, but they took a cut of $5,000 for their request. So, and they haven't increased it since. So it's been, I bet it's been a dozen years since you've asked for, any more money.
Mr. Chair, for all three of you, do you guys track numbers? You said it's a free event. Would you track what numbers of people come through your gates? Do you have any way of knowing that?
We don't currently because there's too many opportunities to come into the grounds without a gate around the fairgrounds and stuff. There's people that can pass through, they can pass through the exit, they can come through the grandstand, they can come, off the street, they come from the parking lot. So, unless we found some volunteers or paid somebody to sit right out at the sidewalk from the length of, that street of Rossman Avenue with a clicker, it'd be awfully hard to capture what those numbers are. So we tried a service, I believe it was through the county, using like cell phone pings. But the data that came back didn't seem to support the numbers from like the grandstand entry fees and stuff like that. So we're not comfortable with the numbers that we got back from that. So do we have numbers? No, we don't have like exact numbers.
You have parking and grandstand.
Correct.
In the grandstand, we can get pretty close to our grandstand numbers just by what tickets we sell, but, yeah, it's just tough because they can come in the whole length of the street and, so unless we started doing a paid fare, then obviously we could, but I think we report, 30,000 a year is what we report to the state, and it's probably a ballpark number at best, but.
One thing I want, I got a lot of compliments on the new handicap accessible bleachers. Now, they thought I had something to do with it, but I didn't. No,
Take credit away even if you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
You get the blame for everything.
Yeah, I do, yeah. So, no, but that was really, there were, I know a few, I don't want to say the right word, handy, or use a wheelchair. And they were real appreciative and awesome. They thought it was great, so, yeah. That's huge for the community.
And I think two of the most recent improvements we have had ADA components to them. I mean, when we redid the kitchen and the bathrooms, we made that more ADA friendly. And then the bleachers also having a ramp and having spots to park scooters or wheelchairs, was a great add-on for our fairgoers.
Does anybody else have anything for?
I want to say I got to work with Richard Belfi out there. He's really does a really good job out there for serving all that food.
Yep.
So I thought that was good.
If you want to volunteer more, I'm sure there's.
I don't think I do. I don't think they want me back. I did sweep the floor and a few other things. I probably wasn't the best worker.
I was going to say, for those who don't know, Richard Belfi and his wife Deneen run the 4-H food stand. So they're brought on as staff through the University of Minnesota, but they have done a knockout job.
Yeah, I mean,
in
really.
the food kitchen. I think they've been there 4 or 5 years now, and they do a phenomenal job. So if you don't eat at the 4-H food stand, I recommend it. It's probably the best food on the fair.
It is good food, but he's a professional at that anyway. That's what and so he just really does. I thought he really had everything together there, because that's a lot of food. He knows exactly where everything's at. I don't know. There's just a lot going on there.
Richard, were you there volunteering for the pie and ice cream day? I didn't see you there.
No, because I came later and swept the floor. You had pie and ice cream. It was actually later on that day. So
we have had a conversation with Mojave to kind of revitalize Senior Day also. So if you guys are available, it'll be the Thursday, 30th.
Oh, don't ask me.
July 30th, I
Thursday,
believe, is that Thursday. So we'd look forward to having you guys come and help serve pie and ice cream again.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that. That's fun. Yeah. I don't like pie, but I like serving it. Does anybody else have any questions for Casey, Travis, or Carla?
I don't have any questions, but I kind kind of want to echo what Barry said in thanking you, because this isn't
Yeah.
just a 1 week out of the year thing. Like, you start planning right away, right after, like, it's a year-round planning, and
Phone
And-
never stops ringing.
yep. So just thank you. It's a huge
Yeah.
commitment, and it's a great thing for our community. So,
Yeah, I'd like it. Thank you too. It's you guys do a great job, the whole fair board, and that's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
We'll
in.
make sure we get back here more.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to come back to our reports and correspondence and appointments, and we're going to go to our Becker County Airport update by Mark Hagan.
Well, I'm Mark Hagan, and with me is Mike Moe. So one of the things that came up here, Phil actually would normally probably propose this, is we have a airport commissioner, Mark Green, who's going to be leaving the commission, and he has part of his appointment left until September of next year. And just for quick reference, the airport commission is joint powers of the Becker County and Detroit Lakes, of which Detroit Lakes is the operating agent. Kelsey Clem effectively is we do all the financial end of that, but the county and the city are in it 50% each as far as ownership of the airport and anything that happens there. The commission is 5 volunteers. We advise, and we have a budget to work within, and if there's projects, then we come and ask for funds from 50% from the city, 50% from the county. So Mike Moe is a candidate for the airport commission spot that would be starting tomorrow, the 17th, and run until September of next year. He was a UND candidate, student, got his private pilot license there. After graduating, he went into the Air Force and flew KC-135s for 6 years. Over his career, he flew with North Central Airlines, Southern Airlines, Republic Airlines, Northwest Orient Airlines, and finished his career with Delta, which doesn't mean he can't hold a job. Those are all successful things. He retired after 31 years from Delta as a captain and flew wide bodies at that time. Mike purchased a Cessna 172 in 2011. His wife also has an airplane out at the airport. He's a member of the Experimental Aircraft Association, Airplane Owners and Pilots Association, and the Seaplane Pilots Association. He's been active in several other volunteers activities in the community outside of aviation. And did you get any other proposals for candidates on the other? Okay. So I'd turn that back to you.
I would move to approve Mike Moe as a candidate or I'd move to approve that he be accepted as the next replacement.
I think what
Can I
you,
do that?
Move to,
you can, but I think you want for fulfillment of this term.
yeah,
Okay, so we can't do
Yes,
it
you're
for the
making-
term and then
You're making of the current term, to
Yeah.
finish
Or
the
to
current
fulfill the
current
term
vacated
until
term.
September.
vacated term.
Okay,
So
so
you-
moved.
all right, so Phil makes a motion to appoint Mike Moe to fulfill the vacated term. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Barry and a second by, or a motion by Phil and a second by Barry. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair, I would just, Mike, do you want to just, I mean, I know Mark just gave a little biopsy of you, but do you have anything you'd like to say before we vote yes or no? This will make the difference.
Well, I came to Becker County and as an infant, seasonally. My dad and my grandmother bought a place on Lake Sally in 1936, and ever since I was born, I came down here for at least 2 weeks every summer. Went to the fair and loved it. And but I really love the airport here. That was one of the big draws that when Gene and I decided to move to Detroit Lakes was the airport facilities. We lived in Grand Forks, and we had a huge airport there, but it's got Part 121, which is airlines, and so everything has to be separated. So we moved our operations up to Grafton, North Dakota, because we could fly in and out without any hassle, and that's what we found in Detroit Lakes. So we really love the airport, and I'd really be glad to serve on the board for the remainder of the term and represent Becker County, because that's where I live.
So that's something, I mean, what is educate me a little bit on the separation. So if we had a commercial airline in Detroit Lakes, then it'd be much more more regulation, is that?
Well, you have to have TSA if they, if they had some kind of a Part 121, or maybe even Part 135. We don't have those operators on the field, thank goodness.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of money in it.
Right, costs, yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of issues on that side of it. We don't really have the facilities for it,
Right.
boarding and deplaning and screening.
Thank you. I think he has great knowledge of
Yep.
the system, so.
I do. All right, so we have a motion and a second.
Just so you know, this is a life term.
Yeah.
Once you're on it.
Once you're on it, you're not getting off. So do we have a motion and a second? Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, Mark
Thank you.
and Mike.
Anything else for Mark? I mean, we've had some discussions about airport. Do you guys got any questions about the projects we're doing out there? Anything else for Mark as our
I have
head guy?
about 5 minutes or less than that.
Oh, yeah.
3 minutes I can
Go
cover
ahead.
some things.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah,
What's happened
absolutely.
in the last 12 years. Phil had asked me if I could just do a quick update.
Yep.
So starting in 13, we spent 13 years trying to get through an environmental assessment to be able to do anything with the airport out there, and I won't even begin to go into that, but since then, we got the runway, full-length taxiway completed on both ends, going from 4,500 to 5,200 feet. Obstruction removals on both ends, land acquisition that included upgrading the navigational aids. You see the lighting that's there, especially on the Highway 59 side, it shows up well. Fencing in compliance with safety and wildlife control. Upon completion of the new airport, the new zoning was completed, and that was a pretty seamless process. So we tried to do the best we could to make sure nobody was harmed by that. And I think when it was done overall, we had pretty good feeling. I know that they clapped at the last zoning meeting, which doesn't happen very often. The crowd was there. So maintenance equipment's been upgraded because of the increased surface area. We built the medical helicopter building with the help of the county board putting up half the money, the city council putting up the other half. That'll pay back in 10 years. We're about, I think, 3 or 4 years into that now. And after that time, we'll own the building and we'll lease it to the company. There's 17 full-time equivalents working in that building to keep it going 24/7. So it was a good economic development thing for the city and the county. New fueling system with 100 low lead, which is the main gas for aircraft, and Jet A, which is the main fuel for turbine aircraft, jets, that type of thing. Relative to what the runway is doing now, or the airport, compared to what it was doing in prior to the expansion, we were doing about 40,000 gallons of Jet A a year there, in average between 15 and 19. We now are going to do about 95,000 gallons. So there's double the Jet A use, which is an indication of not of the amount of jet traffic, not jets, but might be single engine turbine planes, but it uses the Jet A fuel. Planes that are generally used for business. Planes that I fly or Mike flies, we didn't need the runway expansion, and we didn't need a lot of things out there. We could use much shorter runways, but the idea of expanding that was to create more business opportunities relative.
And Mark,
to that.
hold up, Mr. Chair. So I'd asked, I said, I've asked you before, is how do we can't track planes really coming in there, but we can by the fuel, and we've doubled the fuel. That's one indicator, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
says that we
metric
got
that you-
more.
The planes fly when they're at an instrument flight. If they cancel that, you don't have any tracking on that. And we're an uncontrolled airport. You fly in, you self-report, and you land. So coming and going, and a lot of times you don't know who they're in there. NetJets comes in, what they call fractional ownership. There's a lot more of that now, where they'll come in, drop somebody off, and they typically don't raise their hand and say, I'm Hope Depot, and we're here to buy some land or something. So they.
Don't tell Menards that.
But there's, well, I just picked Home Depot, but there's several local companies that have airplanes out that are flying crews out every Monday and Friday, or sometime in between. So then they've expanded their area to working in South Dakota, Western North Dakota. Herzog is one of them. I mean, it wouldn't be any secret that they have crews, so it's not something that is there for recreational use. It's there because they're taking a crew that would go to Williston, and it saves them Monday and Friday of paying that entire crew to drive back and forth. So it's Sherbrooke's doing a lot of work out of the community. Hammers Construction has a plane there. Pfeiffer Auction, that's in the front page of the Fargo Forum, has a plane there. So a lot of that's has increased our business use traffic. Last major project is under grant for next year, which the county board and the city approved. That's a new apron and expanding the area for parking aircraft out in front of the arrival departure building and the transient aircraft to come to fueling and that. And there's one more project that we're looking at, but it would not require a lift from either the county or the city. And that's a grant that we just applied for to remodel the arrival departure building, which is the main building you go in and out to get the, when you land at the airport. And we've got the funds already to be able to cover that. It's a 95% grant, so we may not even get it. But I just wanted to indicate it would require no, we wouldn't be back here looking for assistance to do that. And as far as other major projects, I think we're pretty well complete. Certainly if somewhere in the future we may need to build some more hangars. We just built 12 hangars in the last year and opened those up. And we, every single project we've worked on has now been completed. There was another private hangar built out there on a land lease this summer. And so we should be in pretty good shape. It's not a come back to the well every week type of thing. Thank you for all the support you've given.
So, Mr. Chair, so we allot with the city $45,000 a year to the airport to do what they do. The city does the same. So I guess, Richard, this summer when we were talking about some of these projects, 95% of, or most of it was funded by grants and stuff. So the $45,000 allotment every year, I asked Mark to come in and tell us why that's worth it. You can make up your own mind for that, but there's a lot of good things going out there. I wish there was better metrics so we could count people coming in and planes and stuff, but that fuel is the best one we can get. So there's, like Mark said, there's nothing really that they're going to be coming for asking extra in the immediate future. So I know we talked about that $45,000 before. I think it's money pretty well spent for the county, but that's the conversation that we have had before. And if you've got questions, ask Mark about the good things going on out there.
Mr. Chair, whether, one thing, like Mark's, I don't think Mark's getting rich off his serving time on the board out there either. So thank you for.
Actually, none of the commissioners could see that.
I just was leading into, thank you for your work and your passion for it. I know, when you're on these boards, it's a passion and it's something that you guys really truly believe in, and just thank you again. Just like the Fair Board, you don't get a lot of thanks, you don't get a lot of gratitude, but the hours that are put into these type of boards are tremendous, and thank you again for all your work, your passion for the airport on the behalf of the county.
Well, thank you. And my passion is actually this economic development side of it. Like I said, at one time, people thought we wanted to expand it for the people who are having coffee out there on Saturday morning, and that's not that. It's the business side of it, bringing in transient traffic. So in 2013, we were at a point where it looked like we not only wouldn't be able to expand the airport, we may have to, because Airport Road was there and the highway, we may end up with a 3,500-foot runway, which would have been unusable for anything other than just light aircraft. So it's been gratifying to get to the point we're at now, where we've got one of the better airports in the state as far as our updates, and we should be good for another 30 or 40 years before we have to look at it again. Thank you for your comment.
It does make it easier to support you when you guys go out and get those grants. It's, that makes it a lot easier, and that's what me and Phil talked about too. So that's really fortunate that you're good at getting those.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. I thought by the time we got permission to do this, there wouldn't be any money, but it's certainly, there's been a number of different programs that have come along.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark, for, I'll reiterate what Barry said about everything you do. And then Mike, well, thank you now, because you'll probably be doing the same thing.
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike. Yep.
All right, let's finish with our appointments, since looks like we have another one. So does anybody else have any appointments?
I'll appoint Ellis Peterson to the Corman Watershed. Have we received any others? There's another opening there, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, point of order on myself.
Yep.
I'll second. I'll second, so Barry can continue talking.
Actually,
You're the only one that noticed.
Yeah, Commissioner Nelson didn't actually make a motion. He said, I will appoint. So you'll say,
Make a motion.
motion to appoint. All right, and then you make a second. All right.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any discussion?
Mr. Chair, there's two appointments, correct, Barry? Are we
There's
just
an
gonna
open
appoint-
one,
Okay.
still an opening.
So we'll appoint the one, and then we'll still have an open?
Yes, we don't have any applicants, I don't think, at this time. And I think
Okay.
Ellis was looking to get off the board, but when he found out there was vacancies, I think he wanted to continue on until we got a full
Fine.
board. And
Okay, all right.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, let's move on to our reports and correspondence. Who would like to go first?
I'll go. You guys had let me apply for that that Minnesota Association of Government Invested in Counties. I did get elected,
Nice.
supported, so I am on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I made some contact down at the AMC meetings, so we're off and running with that, but I am on that committee now.
I just want to say that somebody said, congratulated me at the AMC conference for getting on the Magic Fund. And I said, no, that was me. I'm the better looking commissioner. That wasn't me.
Thanks, Dave. So I'm on that, just so you know. We had planning and zoning, the Prairie Lakes development. We had approved that our last meeting. I did call out to Lake Eunice Township because it had to go to them because it was a subdivision. They did approve it on the 9th. Highway, we talked quite a bit about the budget and upcoming budget. I think we're really in a good place moving forward. So thanks to Carrie for all our hard work
Yeah.
at just staying on that, getting on it and staying on it. And Denise too for helping us out and just kind of
Yep.
getting us heading in the right direction there. And I think we put some things in place that will help us moving forward. And then just the AMC meetings, tribal relations, MRC. Most of the meetings I really wanted to go to were in solid waste. I really am intrigued by that. And we had one topic, the PFAS thing. Incineration, pretty much the general consensus in that room is incineration destroys this PFAS, this forever plastic chemical. And I just keep coming away from these things thinking, why aren't we building more incinerators around the state? But
incineration is the most highly regulated way to dispose of garbage that there is. It's highly regulated, and that burner has to heat at such a high temperature.
1900 is what ours does.
And just so so public is burning your garbage in a burn barrel creates more pollution than that incinerator does in a month. Burning your 2 bags of garbage in a burn barrel has more pollution because it's not hot, so all those chemicals just get released, and and who hasn't done that? I'm not saying I haven't done it, but I go to campfires now, and even around the 4th, I said, don't burn that, don't burn the garbage. Throw it in the garbage and have it at the incinerator. So those we all can do better.
So, like I said, I really went to a lot of solid waste meetings here, and Richard went to the transportation, so I'm kind of interested to see, because I'm supposed to be on that one, but I was interested in the solid waste portion of environmental. Yeah, then just truth and taxation. The meetings were really good down at AMC. It really helped me. It helps to get a picture of where Becker County is compared to the rest of the state. We have some mutual concerns. We are different in some ways, and going to those meetings really helps me put that in perspective. So I hope we keep doing that kind of stuff. That's all I have.
Mr. Chair, I was just saying, the AMC meetings, I didn't have any other scheduled meetings, but the AMC, the contacts you make and the dialogues, you learn so much, and that you bring back so much just from talking to the vendors and the other commissioners, and it is very valuable. And I shared with Carrie kind of a lesson, because you do grow as a commissioner, I think, when you go and listen to speakers. And I had a individual that called, and Brian and Todd are here, so it was about a traffic stop, and they were livid. And I listened and talked, but you think back on how to, and it's not one thing you hear, but it's just how do you respond and react? And I those are the things you get out of it sometimes, and it's not measurable. I mean, it's not, oh, this, I learned this today. It's something you maybe changes you as a person, and it was very helpful, so. But great meetings down there, great. And then the relationship with others on the board, I think, improves too.
Yep, it does. That's one thing I was gonna say, that we become more cohesive when we all go together. Yep.
Not saying we have to agree on everything.
No, we just, yeah. So one meeting I went to at AMC, DDA had a session, and it just reaffirmed that we are doing the right things with our wage scale and our study and our maintenance. And there's other counties that are not in the situation we're in, where they're keeping their employees and retaining them. And so I think we've done the right thing.
Yeah, in that session also, they talked about the importance of preparing for retirement and what can you do, we have.
Succession planning?
Yep.
Succession planning,
Yep.
yeah.
We have some department heads that are nearing that, and how do we make sure that we transfer that knowledge onto the team and/or make sure it's there. Mary, where'd you go? She's not here, but, so like making sure that we have that knowledge. So.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Were you done, or you want me to?
Yeah, you go ahead, yeah.
Okay. I had human services also. Most of it is in the agenda. We went over the contracts. But we also discussed AMC's Health and Human Services had a couple amendments for their platform. And there were one that we weren't very supportive of, and it had to do with the amendment proposed was regarding the state considering a state supervised, state administered human services, which I think can have some pretty big negative consequences for rural counties. You then everybody becomes one, and it's run the same way, which is consistency, which is good in some ways, but how we do things up here is much different than how the metro area might do things. And one of the concerns was just losing that community norms when you're providing services, as well as we talked a lot about foster care licensing. Once foster care licensing becomes administered by the state, our homes in Becker County then become available to the whole state. So that could, really, we already are short of foster homes. So we want to make sure that, we're able to keep them for our community. But so then at the AMC conference, there was an amendment to that amendment, which basically removed the state supervised administered human services. So I still was not in support of it. I did not vote for it. The amendment basically said that the state will reconsider how human services is administered, like the structure of it. So I think it would have made more sense for us to vet on it for another year before we make it an official platform, just because it puts MAXA and other legislative people into a tough spot. But
So it did pass.
It did pass, yep. And it also was in the general government. I don't know if anybody went there, but they also made a amendment for that. So, and then the other amendment that was passed was regarding the Minnesota African American Family Preservation Child Welfare Disproportionality Act.
You just like saying that because you know what? No one else knows the whole act.
Yeah, you enjoy that.
It's really just making sure that, AMC wants to make sure that the state has all the training in place, the definitions in place is going to be a huge thing, as well as system requirements for implementation and funding. Right now there is no funding for it. So that amendment did go through. I also attended a session on the act to hear more about how it is being implemented in Hennepin and Ramsey. They say at this time they haven't had any increase in staff, but they're not really able to say how much more time they're spending on their cases. We did also learn that I think it was the week before, there was a ruling that the implementation of the act was considered unconstitutional. So they're because of the phase in of it. So currently, the Hennepin and Ramsey, 30% of the eligible population, they are required to provide active effort services, and then every quarter it's 10% more. And so.
And I was just going to say that's big reason why they haven't had to hire new staff.
Yeah, because
They
they're
haven't
not fully
implemented,
implemented.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's set to be fully implemented in the state on 1/1/27. But we don't know now how this, I read a couple articles about it, and really what it's saying is the current implementation of it is unconstitutional because we're not providing those services to all in one county and all in the state. And currently it is a race-based, because it's the only thing we have data on. So that's part of what makes it unconstitutional, because you can't have a race-based law. So we'll see, more to come. The one article I read, Hennepin and Ramsey said they're not going to do anything different. They're going to continue doing it. But the AMC, there was a lot of conversation of what does that mean for counties once it's implemented, because it runs a high risk of ending up in court because of decisions that might be made. So then the only other thing I wanted to talk about AMC conference, other than echoing what everybody here has said, is I attended a couple of sessions on cybersecurity. And they really talked about the importance of constantly assessing our infrastructure to make sure we have everything in place to ensure protection, which I think we do a good job of. But one thing that they said, and I think this was in the MCIT session, was really we should consider email retention. If we are victims of a cyber attack and they get into the email and we have to pay for somebody to review all those emails, and we don't have an email retention, coming from somebody who worked here for 10 years and still had emails when I first started, I think that is something we need to consider, and we need to, because it can be costly. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars if we have to hire somebody to go through every email. And as the fellow from MCIT said, many of those emails are about potlucks and, because people aren't in the habit of deleting those emails right away. So I think that's something.
Or never.
Yeah. It's something that we should consider, working at the state, after 1 year, they're automatically deleted. So you have a year to, any emails that must be kept for whatever reason, you have a year to print them off and put them in an EDMS or whatever it is you do with them. But so
I think I think one of my email accounts too is they have a program now that's rewarding you when you delete your old emails. I mean, it's because it's the storage must be really piling up in so that would be another thing. I think maybe a policy where we, remind people that getting rid of the the unused emails saves us a lot. So.
Yeah, so I think it will for sure be an adjustment for probably all employees, but I think it's something that we can consider and take time implementing, but good conversation to have with Judy. Then the only other meeting I had was the Partnership for Health, which is also on the agenda we had our first meeting with just Clay County.
Yep.
Or actually, I think it was our second meeting.
Well, it was our second, but it was our first in person.
Yeah.
One of the other meetings was possibly instead of paying overtime, or not overtime, but was paying for calls coming in.
Oh, on call?
On call instead of paying it for incident rather than paying it continuously.
Instead of paying.
It was a discussion that happened too. So.
Yeah, instead of paying IT on call, we do like a call
Yeah.
Not umbrella.
Call
tree. Call tree.
Yeah,
Is that what they're called? Not umbrella.
If there's a problem, you have the numbers and first one available.
I knew that didn't sound right.
Flower, whatever, upside down.
Yeah.
Umbrella.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Jepson, just a few things you talked about there. Email retention, that really sounds like a smart idea. I sat in on that succession planning too, but it's interesting how two people sit in it and you hear something differently. Succession planning for our people that are going to be going on and out or leaving, I think that's really important. I think that just fits into a strategic plan. I know some companies are doing 2-year budgeting. Now I mean, I know the second year is just out there, but it gives us something to look forward to. But I would disagree with one thing you said about the capital budgeting. I don't think we do a good enough job of that.
What did I say?
Here, capital budgeting?
Did I say anything about capital budget?
Yeah, you said you thought we did a really good job of that here.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I was listening.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I think we can do a better job of
I
that.
don't think I said anything about capital budgeting, but maybe I misspoke. Yeah.
But anyway, Barry, I know you don't like the strategic planning thing, but all these things that we sat in, all these things we're talking about here are things that feed into that. And we're going to get back to Carrie's presentation at some point. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too that I think is important that we learned at the MRC is, right before the conference, they talked about, it came out that the state has this big surplus. And the surplus is really, yes, we have a surplus, but we must maintain that surplus in order for us in the next biennium.
It's a surplus currently, but we're still negative in the.
We're still negative
Yes.
in the next
And,
biennium.
and the next biennium showed that we were only $4 billion short.
So-
But really that $4 billion depends on
The
us
surplus.
keeping the $2 billion surplus. So
Mm-hmm.
while it shows that we have a surplus, we can't spend it.
They encourage us not to think that that's money available. to
Yes.
spend.
Yes,
Mr.
correct.
Chair, Commissioner Jepson, I heard that too, and thank you for bringing that up. I took this from that. The surplus that they're putting in there, the 2.6, they usually line item the bonding bill. They put 800 or 900 million in there for the bonding bill.
Correct.
So they didn't put that in this year. So if you've got a bonding project, I wouldn't be too optimistic. But that's how they got that 2.6, because they didn't fund the bonding bill. So they're using
To let you know.
weird. Thank you.
Like Ryan Tangen
What do you
always
want
said,
it to
what
be?
do you want it to be?
What do you
What
want it to
the
be?
numbers to be? So,
What do you want it to be?
Yeah.
what do you want to, and speaking of that, I have a question, but Mary's not here.
All right,
That was all I had.
okay. Commissioner Nelson, I
What?
won't forget about you this time.
I just reiterated a little bit. What our policy committee, Phil and I sat in on natural resource and environment, and we had big discussion on Metro Ramsey and Hennepin, I think, wanted to, and they did a joint meeting with general government to be allowed, just them, not mandatory, but allowed to do taxing districts for environmental garbage and recycling and the whole. And our committee voted it down, and I don't understand why, because they weren't asking, they were just asking to fix the law, because it's it's 30, 40 years. So they were what's the term, Phil, that it's a taxing district, but they had
Is it joint powers?
No, it wasn't a joint powers, it was some sort of taxing district, which they wanted to form this group, which basically, instead of a joint powers, just gives them a taxing authority, like a watershed, rather than general government voted it unanimous, and we went in there and voted it down, but they had enough votes to write on it, so they formed a joint policy, and they did not move it forward. They're going to wait to support that, but our rural counties don't understand how we have to sometimes give to the metro, because metro, like it or not, metro has more numbers than rural, and they were just asking for the opportunity to be able to lobby to do this, AMC to lobby. We didn't approve it. So if we would have said, yes, AMC can lobby for you to say that, we aren't required to do any of it. It was just an option in the toolbox. So I don't know why it was voted down. There was some opposition, and I didn't understand why they would vote this down, but.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Nelson, so actually, there was already law in place. They were just trying to update the wordage of it. So actually, it could be worse, because now you're dealing with the old language. So I was in agreement with Commissioner Nelson on that. You don't have to do it. It just gives you another tool in the toolbox to be able to do it.
And I think the fear is the state's fear is trying to force regionalization, and we're not necessarily in favor of that. That doesn't mean by supporting them to allow them to do it, doesn't mean that that rule doesn't say that we had to do it or should do it. So I don't know. So anyway.
Richard, do you?
No, I just had highway with Phil, and I will say, I think, I even learned something at this AMC. And Phil gave me a new pen, and Barry gave me a yardstick.
Yes,
So
I was jealous
came
because I
out
liked it.
Pretty good, yeah. So, yeah, but it was very interesting, and I do see the need to support all those different committees down there, whether they're going to the feds or the state. It is very important for us, so.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Varberg, you said it on transportation, anything come out of that?
No, we voted on something. I don't remember even what it was now.
Well, thanks for sitting in that for me, so.
No, and I would have learned
Transportation's
something, but I kind of knew about it because of going to highway here. So actually, we talked about speed limit signs and how to do that, and I already knew that the state had to set that, but I'm trying to think of what we voted on.
Did you vote on wetland credits probably?
Oh,
That's usually that we support wetland
That's-
credits for
and
road.
one guy voted against that in the whole room. Yeah.
Democracy. That's usually have
Well,
one
and everybody
dissenting for
looked at him.
democracy.
But I'm like, why would you vote against that?
Maybe he had other priorities, or she, so.
All right, so I had a couple. I had
Oh, right.
I know, isn't that great? Partnership for Health with Commissioner Jepson, she covered that. I had a Historical Society. We talked about volunteer at the airport and all these other, in the fair board, and anyway, they have a volunteer. They have lots of volunteers. That's how they run a lot of their organization at the museum is through volunteers. But anyway, they have a volunteer that is scanning all of our old newspapers. So when he is done, the newspapers will be scanned from the late 1800s all the way up to, I think, to the mid 2000s is where they're sitting at right now. And then that's going to be scanned, and then that's going to be transformed into an OCR, and I had to look that up. That is an optical character recognition program. So then you will be able to use it as a searchable database. So that'll be cool.
So I can search my name?
You can search your name, you can search a year, you can search a subject, yeah. So that's the issue with, because it's really cool when you go in there and look at all the newspapers, but it's like, well, where do you start? You know, so that'll be nice. And then also the Butterfly Odyssey is still going on till April 4th. I also had a Lakes Country Service Co-op meeting. So I'm on the audit committee, and I'd never been on the audit committee. And so I learned a lot about how they audit cooperatives. But also one thing I did learn is currently right now that all federal award expenditures of more than $750,000 are automatically audited every year. Next year, that's going to go to 1 million. So I learned that actually in the Partnership for Health too, but I didn't know it was going to 1 million next year. So anyway, and then we also had elections for some of the board members, and they all got reelected. And one of the hot topics was paid family medical leave, of course, in there. And then they also went through their cooperative purchasing connection. So what they do is Lakes Country Service Co-op works with vendors to get consistent and cheaper pricing for the members of Lakes Country Service Co-op, like the schools, the counties, the cities, all the public entities, and then they will help them acquire services or equipment at a cheaper, consistent price, and they do contracting with the vendors for that. So that's actually and they've expanded that to North Dakota, South Dakota, and I think just North Dakota and South Dakota. So that's actually a big service that they provide, which is really nice. We also at finance, just one thing that Commissioner Jepson and I talked about with Carrie is that we agreed to recommend some adjustments or some additions to her contract. So those are going to be coming forward at a future meeting for us to review and vote on. So that's coming. And
You may as well go right into your summary of.
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, instead of have it there. And that was my next thing, the summary of our administrator's review. So, first thing is I'll talk about the positive things.
This can be short, you know.
Yeah, it'll be short. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. So positives. Carrie, we believe that Carrie does a great job of communicating with the entire board and with the entire staff in the county and the community. We also agree that Carrie conducts herself in a professional manner, and was awesome and huge. And she also allows department heads to do their jobs, but when she needs to intervene and hold her ground, she does it, and that's evident is with her stance on the highway and how we got all that situation resolved. And we also agreed that she is very available and very approachable by the board and by department heads and anybody that needs to talk to her. So that's great. We did obviously, whenever you do a review, you want to make sure that you know that not everything is always hunky-dory. And this is just very minor, but one thing that we did notice that could use some improvement is on very, very small situations that she could do a better job of following through and tracking some items. But other than that's basically what we decided in our review.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Carrie, for sticking with us through the tough times and bringing us to times, well, they're difficult times financially, but I think as far as the board relations go are doing excellent. And I think a big part of that is you're bringing this team together as a board. And I think all departments are seeing that, and I think the whole county is running so much better. It's with you. So thank you.
I was going to reiterate that too. I think that our county is running better because of all the hard work and dedication that you do. Yeah.
I think it's very true, and I wonder why now the newspaper guy's out there. I'm thinking about going to get him.
We're recorded, so they can. Everyone can see it.
Well, I'm going to tell him to go back and look. She has made this. Her and her staff have made this place so much better, but she's got some work to do yet.
Well,
she's made me better, which was hard to believe. I didn't think I could be any better. Yeah.
All right.
We all can be better. I mean, we all can be.
Ditto, you make it a little more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Carrie.
Yep. So thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments? All right, let's move on to our consent agenda.
Mr. Chair,
yeah.
prior to going into the consent agenda, Peggy did bring it to my attention that on attachment A, in reference to the land use resolution, Smith Pro Services was listed as a hauler, but it was not listed. It was missed on the attachment A.
Oh, okay. On
Smith
attachment
Pro
A.
Services. So she did add it to attachment A
Okay.
as a number 32. It's referenced elsewhere.
Okay. So on attachment A, which is on page 20, we're going to add Smith Pro.
Services.
It's on
Smith Pro.
page 18 as well, 18 and 20.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other?
Do we need to pull that one?
Do we need to pull that, or
I
can we
don't know
just
how it
approve it
works.
with just adding that?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda with the addition of the language for the hauler.
Okay. So we have a motion by Barry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any more discussion?
I have just one question. Looking at the fund balances, I still see that the gravel tax reserve has not been, has that payment been made? Because it's still
highway.
to highway, because
Yep.
it shows the same dollar amount it did last year.
It was,
Are you talking about the transfer? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I was told that it was made. Oh, Mary's not sitting there.
Well, if you could check that
The
out, because
transfer,
it shows
I
the
will.
balance about equal as last year.
What-
I know we didn't,
where gravel, where's it? Yeah, it does show 8. Yeah, was it? That's what it was at.
It's a transfer. I believe it was 400,000.
The transfer was 400, and it shows on here it's at, 682? I don't know. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. All right, let's move on to our county administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also attended the AMC conference with the commissioners, and it was a very enjoyable time. and attended several of the different meetings with some of you. I also last Friday traveled to Fergus Falls after receiving an invite from Denise with regards to, there was a meeting there with the Department of Children, Youth and Families, along with human service directors, administrators and supervisors, and there was an array of topics. It was a full morning, but interesting to, have face-to-face contact with numerous, and it was just a lot of really good information. I sent in, we have talked about this before through Environmental Committee with regards to our need for backup for our our ICWIC crew. And so I had referenced this in the past, I had some communication with the Department of Corrections, asking if we could train some of our staff out at the MRF specifically on those emergent situations where the state crew leader was ill or injured. And so what they asked me to do is, and I did this jointly with the jail staff, Paula Peterson had sent over all of their correctional officer training modules, so that we went through that and what was pertinent to that, and then put everything in writing back to the Department of Corrections, asking for approval that we could internally train, so we have a backup option. So that is pending. So when I hear something, I will bring that back. Kelsey Clem from the city had reached out and had asked whether or not our county would be interested sometime in January. Nothing's been scheduled. A joint legislative session that he would schedule between city, county, and the school district of any commonalities that we may have or asks.
So have our joint governance meeting and.
Yeah, they talked about that, but but didn't feel that would allow for enough time.
Gotcha.
So more to come on that. So our county, and I just had been asked by Mahnomen County for our human service, specifically for child protection, to assist with some casework that they may have there. And so we're looking at our whether or not we were able to assist with that. They have some staff that are out on leave. And then also Denise had provided some information, which I had forgotten about. So thank you, Denise. Some contracted potential social work staff that we had the information on that I have also forwarded to Mahnomen County. Yesterday we had an internal meeting with a few of the department heads to start discussions on the security law 480.40, 45, and 50. This is the judicial the personal information, real property protections pertaining to judicial officers or officials, which will go into effect January 1. So we started having some discussions internally with specifically the recorder's office, with Tony from GIS, and really starting to talk that through about what is required. And Brian was also there, the sheriff's department, et cetera, and just really having some discussions about, again, what if you get a request, how do you maneuver through that, and what does that look like? So that has begun. I sent out yesterday a countywide email, which I would imagine all of you got as well, authorizing the closing of our county buildings on the afternoon of Christmas Eve. It is our last week of Leadership Academy training for Commissioner Hanson and I.
Mercifully.
It's,
I noticed you become much better leader.
So yes, it'll be graduation day will be very, very nice. Also 2 days next week, I believe it's Monday, Tuesday, I've been asked to be on site to assist Todd County with hiring of a department head. So I agreed to do that. So I'll be out Monday, Tuesday in Todd County, assisting them with that as well. We've had just a quick update on PACOM. They will be also staff, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 staff from PACOM will be on site here. I believe it's Monday, Tuesday of next week all day. Again, just working out kinks, working with staff. Just an extraordinary amount of time has been put in with our staff and PACOM to work out issues, get everything to the level that we wanted at. So that's hopefully we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. And that is all I have for my report.
I have one question, Carrie.
Yes.
The joint governance is January 6th, and where is it at?
Ooh,
Is that the city?
Typically, it's at the city.
Yeah.
in the January.
I think it's at the city.
Yeah, we can
I've got it.
double check that and send out an invite for you.
It'll
Yeah.
probably say in your packet when you get it.
Yeah. I don't see it.
Yeah, that too. But we
Mr.
can send out a calendar invite.
Oh,
Mr. Chair.
those are great.
Carrie,
Yes.
concerning Kelsey Clem's request, what was that? He's never asked that before. So what is particular to Becker County, the school districts or district and the city? Is that?
I think just an opportunity to bring and I don't even know, it was just a very quick request and asking whether or not we'd be interested in getting something scheduled. So I don't have an agenda or who would be there. I just
Okay.
bring it up for reference.
Okay.
Yep.
Carrie, could you make sure the Lake Park Audubon School Superintendent has a invite to that?
Yes.
He's new this year and doing a really nice job over there, getting that ship kind of tilted right back on course.
That's a good idea, because I believe when we originally got the request, it was just Detroit Lakes, but that's thank you for that reminder, because the rural schools should be included in that as well.
Has Lake Park ever been to, Lake Park Audubon ever been to the joint governance?
Yes,
Yes. they have.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, you want to invite it to the joint governance, yeah.
The January.
January
meeting.
6th one. That's what I.
But not, we have a new super, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Mr. Chair, I do have January 6th is our joint governance meeting,
Try it.
and I've got it at Detroit Lakes City Hall.
Okay.
That's what I had on my calendar anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's, any other questions before I move
No,
on?
no, go ahead.
So in your packet, the first resolution that I have for consideration is 2B, and this is the commissioner meeting schedule for 2026.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a motion by Barry to approve 2B? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Erica. Do we have any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries.
The next resolution for consideration is 2C. This is for commissioner salary and per diem setting for 2026. Of note, what I would recommend for commissioners is the 3.5 COLA increase, which is the same COLA that employees will be receiving for 2026 as well.
Do we have a motion for 2C?
Mr. Chair, I just, as we discuss this in budget, the thought was maybe not taking, but not taking an increase or less than this. And then if you do that, then when we have another wage study and we find out we're so far behind it, and we try to catch up, it's a hard sell, even in negotiations with the unions then to try to get a larger increase. So I will make a motion to approve 2C.
So we have a motion by Barry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Nelson, I don't disagree with what you said there. There are other ways. I mean, the per diem, the meeting costs, we can consider that. When we're asking our taxpayers to come up with $2.5 million for our budget, and I know what all of it's for. I don't know. I think maybe we should consider maybe it, and it won't make a big deal in the budget, but I mean, I think it shows that we're looking out for the taxpayer as well. To, reduce per diem or do something like that at minimally.
Do we have any more discussion? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to be opposed.
Okay. All right, motion carries.
One thing you could do if you want, you could not take your per diems if you want, individually. I mean, I don't know how many I've not claimed over the years in meals. I mean, there's lots of things we could add, I mean, that we are entitled to, but we don't do.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't put in meals. If you go to a meeting over a noon hour, you're entitled to a meal provided by, that's the policy. I mean, there's lots of things I don't claim. I didn't claim any meals over AMC, which there are some you could. I mean, so I do understand I mean, I was thinking the same thing, but just letting you know that there's lots of things that aren't claimed that we could, I mean, that I could certainly have a lot more time on there if I want. It's not, anyway, thank you.
All right, Carrie.
The last
not getting
item that I have for consideration is the resolution 2K. I see on the agenda it says fines, it should be funds. This is the designated funds. So just a quick summary of this. It's across departments. I had asked for departments to provide me with information on spreadsheets as far as what they were tracking when there has been donations specific for specific causes within departments. An example would be the Sheriff's Department K-9 would be an example of that. Just because if we don't designate these funds to roll over into the next year, then they go back into the general. So with that said, so I just did it all in one resolution to ensure that it was done.
So the one thing we talked about this at finance is that this number is close. It could change before the end of the year. So we talked that with this resolution, we could amend it to say that finance can finalize the amount on the 29th of December to make sure they're exactly right before the end of the year.
Are we doing a motion to finalize those numbers and authorize finance to pay end of year bills?
Yes.
Is that on the agenda or?
The resolution is specific to.
Is included in the resolution?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, sorry. So we're gonna, so I need a motion to approve 2K with the amended part that I just discussed to pay does that make sense?
No.
No, it does not.
Human services amounts will not change.
Okay.
Make sure that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
Carrie, I'm willing to
Yeah.
make a motion. Can you,
Yeah,
what
explain
needs
that.
to change in this resolution?
I just did estimated and just perhaps, going into the end of the year that some of those funds might be spent. So we took the estimated. So with regards to that, if the balances change, I would like finance on the 29th to be able to modify those balances to close out the end of the year.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2K with Carrie's amendment there.
okay. So,
Mr. Chair, I'll second. It's not an amendment, it's an addition.
Addition.
There's no motion made
Thank you.
prior to,
Yeah.
so it would be just an
Just an
addition to
addition.
the current language.
so we have a motion by Phil and a second by Barry. Do we have any more discussion?
Just discussion, I'm not seeing in the resolution, so I just wanted to clarify. There's nothing in this resolution about authorizing
Yes.
finance to approve the claims.
So that's the addition.
End
Yeah.
of year bill?
End of your bills.
Was that part of your addition?
That's what I understood
Yeah.
the addition to be.
Okay.
I believe, so was that part of your addition?
It wasn't, but it certainly can be.
It can be.
I'm still trying to figure out an addition versus an amendment.
Well, there was no
Well-
motion, so
No, this would be,
You talked about friendly amendments before.
when there's a motion there was no motion on the table.
yeah.
So there's nothing to amend. You can add to the language, but you can't.
So this would be, that we have a motion and a second, so this would be if we could make this a friendly amendment to also allow finance to pay year-end bills on the 29th.
So instead of what,
Friendly addition or friendly amendment?
Friendly amendment.
now it's an amendment,
It's all
because
friendly.
there's a
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
and second on the floor.
Yeah. It's all friendly.
So
We have a
what-
motion and a second, so we have to add an amendment if we're.
So we want,
Okay,
we're giving authority to the finance committee to pay final end-year bills and adjust the fund balances if there's a change at end of year.
For donations specific to this, yes.
So that's what she's asking that. we
I will
change.
make that friendly amendment.
So I'm okay with that.
Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second and a friendly amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right,
Done it.
done it. Mary, please step forward. You're the next contestant.
Price is right.
That
Okay,
include the EDA.
yes, we're going to
Yes.
go through that whole thing. So Resolution 1225-2A establishes the 2026 budgeted revenues expenditures under item 1. Item 2 is the levy. Item 3 is the EDA levy with no change from last year. Item 4 is Exhibit A, administrative rules. Exhibit B is the position allocation, which shows the number and classifications of all positions. And Exhibit C is the final budget by line item that I think was sent as a separate attachment because it's 80 pages.
One question I had mentioned earlier when you were out, but the gravel tax, we were gonna,
We did a distribution. We moved 400,000 to highway.
it doesn't show that in there.
It was in November. This is October. If you're looking in October,
Okay.
yes, it was moved in November.
Oh.
Well, this is 2006 adopted, so we're moving forward, so that doesn't show the change.
Did you want
26.
100,000 in 26 also?
No, but it says 26, there's 693,000 in gravel reserve.
As of October, but we moved in, let me look here.
Under your 2A, it shows that money is going forward. So that should just be transferred over to,
Okay, the only revenue that goes into gravel tax is the 43,000. Highway already gets 42.5%,
I'm just saying, should that read minus that 400,000?
not on the cash.
It says 2026 adopted under Resolution 2A
Yeah.
that gravel tax has 693,000.
Nope, that's natural resource management.
Oh, that's, I'm.
Oh, you're off a line. Yeah,
Yeah,
the only revenues that we.
Oh, this is just revenues.
Revenues, yes. And we don't have any expenses. We did do a transfer of 400,000 in November, which will show up on next month's report.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. I just had one, I think this is the same as it's always been, but under the administrator rules, number 1, where it says, the last sentence, if the use of staffing from an agency cannot be covered under the personnel budget, the request will come before the board. Don't we just want to use the word budget? Or do we want to use the word personnel budget? That's my question. Because personnel budget might limit it to just, there could be other parts of the budget that could cover that. Does that make sense? Or
Shift in the money.
Yeah.
You could just delete that word.
just delete the word personnel? Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, that's
Well,
fine, Mayor.
if the use of staffing from an agent cannot be covered under, staffing would be all personnel.
Yeah, but if there's another portion of the budget where it could be shifted to make that work, offset
Is that
that,
what you're saying?
yeah. Or is that just something that isn't that big a deal?
I don't know. There's some, it's wordsmithing in that.
Yeah, it doesn't probably matter. Never mind.
It doesn't,
Yep, correct. All right, go ahead.
doesn't
Mayor.
matter to me either way, if you take that word out or not.
Okay. Go ahead, Mary.
I'm requesting a motion to
Oh,
approve.
motion for 2A.
Resolution 1225-2A.
I'll make a motion to approve 2A.
So we have a motion by Erica. Do we have a second for 2A? I'll second 2A. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries. Mary,
The second item I have is the option and lease. I see Alex Truman is online. Did you want to wait until we approve the conditional use permit in zoning? Or basically what this is we bought 2.5 acres of land in Eagle View Township to put a tower on Light Lake Trail. They have presented, we got a state deed in October. Conditional hearing was held it was scheduled in December 3rd, I believe it was approved. I think it's the last item on the agenda, the vertical bridge. The memo that I put in the packet was just to give you an update that we are now at the point, if you approve the conditional use permit, to have the option on lease signed, and I was requesting to authorize the administrator to sign the option and land lease. Basically, they get a 2-year option they pay us $1,000 with 30 days, and it gives them 2 years to get their power in place, their anything they need. The actual lease is going to run just like bad medicine, 5 years at $8,400 a year. Now, Alex is online. If you had any questions for him, he is the representative we've been working with from SBA Towers.
So what is the wishes of the board? Would we like to look at approval of this now, or would we like to move it to planning and zoning and do it after the?
Mr. Chair, I thought we approved this last meeting.
The conditional use or the
The
option
lease,
and lease?
I would say we'll make a motion now, a condition of passing
Okay.
it planning and zoning.
Okay.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the option lease agreement with the cell tower. Condition on that, it is approved through planning and zoning. Or the planning and, the conditional use permit is approved later in planning and zoning.
Second.
Motion by Barry, second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
pass a condition that it passes planning and zoning.
okay. All right, let's move on to human services with Denise.
Good morning.
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 I'd like to bring a number of agreements and contracts forward for today for Human Services. The first of which is a DHS annual renewal for the Children's Mental Health Screening Grant for 2026, which could or should have been in the list of renewals, but for some reason we have it separate. There are no changes to the grant itself, other than the date, of course, the new year. $24,466 is the dollar amount, same value as last year as well.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the DHS screening grant.
So moved.
Second.
So it's motion by Barry, second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
A lot of language for 24,000 on that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is.
It's a government for you.
Yes. DHS contracts are fairly long. Number two, the Frazee Vergas School Agreement. This is just a revision from prior. They automatically renew, but at this point, we're bringing it back for a revision as we added the preschool screening verbiage.
And Denise, did we do the same thing with Detroit Lakes?
That's correct, for number 3.
So
Yep.
we'll approve those two together.
You certainly can.
Motion to approve the Frazee, Vergas, and Detroit Lake School Agreement for a CTC preschool screening revision.
So we have a
Second.
motion by Barry, second by Erica. Do we have any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, Denise.
Next, we have the 2026 annual contract renewals. There are 21 total contracts that we're renewing. And you have a summary list in your packets. I don't know how you want to go about this. What we've done in Human Services as well as Finance is I just kind of gave a summary of any changes that were negotiated, other than grant allocations from the state, which we really have no control on. And there are just a few. So if you'd like, I can summarize those few.
I would
changes.
say that if anyone has a question on a
Yeah.
specific one, otherwise,
Otherwise, we're
Okay.
good, yeah.
All right.
you gave nice,
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Denise, I see the NTE, what does that stand for?
Not to exceed.
Not to
Year.
exceed that
Yes.
amount?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions for Denise? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2026 annual contract renewals.
I'll second.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Eric and a motion by.
What did you make?
No, I did not. No, I said I'll entertain a motion. That's okay. So a motion by Eric, a second by Phil. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, number 5, 6, and 7 are the Partnership for Health new documents for the Partnership for Health going forward with Becker and Clay, with Otter Tail and Wilkin, of course, moving away from Partnership for Health. So we have the Joint Powers Agreement, the bylaws, and the Delegation Agreement.
The one significant change was to the structure of the committee, which would have 2 commissioners from each county and one community member that has a 3-year term, and then from Becker County, and then the next term would be, community member would be from Clay County.
Are we canceling the old one, or how do you?
No.
How do you?
Go ahead, Denise, you can explain it maybe better.
I'm not sure I can.
How do we eliminate the old joint powers agreement?
This is actually a revision of the current one.
So we're just
So in
just
effect,
amending the
Yes.
current one. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a new one, it's an
No.
amendment of the, okay.
Correct.
Yeah, the
Makes
Partnership
me
for
feel a
Health.
little bit, I mean,
Right.
just because joint powers are,
The
less you
part-
are in, the better.
The Partnership for Health still exists. It only exists with Clay and Becker instead of Clay Becker.
So we're just
Otter Tail,
modifying,
yeah.
amending the current.
Mhm.
Do you want those all together or separately?
I think we can do them all together.
That's
I'll
up to
make-
you. That's completely up to you.
I mean, Partnership for Health is something that we'll want to look at closely in the next, to see how it's going and
Yes.
if it's a good fit for us
Yep.
or not.
Yep.
But
Correct.
this time I'll make a motion to approve the Partnership for Health Joint Powers Agreement, bylaws, and delegation agreement.
All right, so I have a motion by Barry. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion?
So really, I assume this is going to be going on the same way. We're just eliminating Otter Tail County, is that,
And Wilkin.
and Wilkin?
County,
So it's
correct.
us and Clay moving forward with
Correct.
Partnership for
And
Health.
we now have 2 commissioners instead of 1.
One, yeah.
On the board.
What does Clay have?
2
Two
commissioners.
commissioners. Two commissioners, then we have a community member from Becker County that when their term expires, then the community member will be from Clay County. All right, so any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
All right, let's move on to Jim.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
First item for your consideration is approval of the transportation sales tax. We had a public hearing this past Thursday, and our projects proposed for 2026, we have 3 on our county road system. One of the projects being on West Lake Drive, our County Road 22 in town here. The next project would be on 39 and on County Road 40 as well. These are both reclaim and paving projects. And like I explained in the meeting, the reclaiming work and paving work on 40 includes the incinerator ash incorporation for recycling. But those total projects proposed for 2026 are approximately 3.1 million is what we're budgeting of our sales tax monies. So I don't know if you have any questions. This sales tax has been in place now for 11 years and has generated about $29 million for us that we've used on our roads.
Mr. Chair, Jim, at the Truth and Taxation meeting, that was a really good handout. I'm sure you have to do that for the state, but there was a lot of information there. I thought I knew a lot about that, and there's a lot of additional information in that handout. I really appreciated that, and that really brought some things to.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve 2F.
Okay, so we have a motion by Barry. Do we have a second for 2F?
I'll second.
Second by Phil. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Next resolution for your consideration is adoption of our 2026 5-year plan and 2026 construction improvement plan. We've updated our 5-year plan. Again, we presented this at last Thursday's public hearing. We were adding some new roads out in 2023, and we did a few shifts on some of the other years, but I think we have a good road projects represented throughout the county. Our budget for next year, our total budget and construction funds is about approximately $12 million. That includes funding from our county state aid highway funds. We have a number of grants, and again, the sales tax. So if there's any questions on that.
Jim, what is our balance going to be at the end of the calendar year for state highway money, for the CASA monies? Are we at a, I mean, we oftentimes borrow ahead, which is
Sure. Yep, we did borrow ahead this year, about $1.4 million.
What's our max?
We can go up to a full annual allotment, of which this coming year we're anticipating probably about $4.5 or $6 million. We'll know that in January. In our program for next year, we have $3.1 million, so that will use up that. So essentially, we should be whole again with our advance at the end of the year.
And just, I mean, it's not uncommon, and many years ago was you usually advance the whole allotment, and you advance that because it's zero interest on that money. I mean, you get to use that for that whole time advancing it, and you don't pay any interest on. So it's there's pros and cons both ways to have that borrowed and have it not. But I think a nice balance is.
Sure. I mean, it helps, peaks and valleys, and we have a stronger construction year. If we need a little extra money, we have that ability to do that.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve 2G.
I'll do that.
So we have a motion by Phil. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Richard. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries.
And finally, for your consideration is a cooperative agreement for the reconstruction of Westlake Drive. Like I said, that's our big project program for next year. We're working in collaboration with the City of Detroit Lakes. It's a joint project. The city will be leading it. That project is approximately $6.3 million in construction funds for us. Essentially, what this agreement does, it divides essentially the rights and obligations of each agency and what they're responsible for paying for. We're essentially paying for all the road and right-of-way work within our right-of-way, except for the city's underground utilities. And so this is a agreement that we've used a number of times on Washington Avenue and other Westlake Drive projects. So
I have one question, Jim.
Sure.
On page 5 of 9, it's on page 97 of the packet, under letter H, number 5 and number 6, where it says 100% of costs associated with the construction of the city beach improvements with the exception of the reconstruction of the boat launch. Then we go to number 6, 100% of the costs associated with the reconstruction of the boat launch. So was number 6 added later to refute number 5? Or should number 5, that part be deleted from number 5?
I suppose we could delete that, yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend that we could make that amendment, and I will let them know.
Oh,
Because, yeah, we had discussions on sharing those costs, but being outside of the right-of-way, I thought it wasn't our responsibility.
Okay. That's all, the only question I had.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve 2I with the exception, or with modifying the language, or are you just taking out item 6?
We'll take out item 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 2I with taking out item 5 of the construction agreement.
Okay, so we have a motion by Phil. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Richard. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, sorry.
I guess when I look at that, we should just strike,
Reconstruction of the boat launch
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
instead of the whole 5.
Oh, yeah.
because they will be responsible for
Yes,
100%.
yes.
We'll just strike with the
So I was
exception of the
frantically
reconstruction.
reading, like,
Yes,
wait,
me too. I was like,
wait.
Yeah, I should
I
have
think if
just,
we take that out, we're going to have to put, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'll amend the motion.
to just strike with the exception of the reconstruction of the boat launch in number 5.
Yep.
Okay, so that's good with you too, Richard?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now we have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, motion carries.
Just to be clear, that number 5, the only thing that'll change, it'll be a period at the end of improvements.
Yes.
And then what's deleted is with the exception of the reconstruction of the boat launch.
Yep. All right, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Jim, I have a quick question. We had a significant storm event or snow event, and you see on social media people complaining all the time. Tuesday was a blizzard. Tuesday afternoon there was a social media complaint that the plows weren't out, and I mean this snow was blowing in and still storming at the time. So I'm really kind of curious how you can complain about when there's a blizzard warning going on and you're complaining that the snow's not. But how long does it take for a route to go the full route? I mean, we can't plow and come back an hour later. I mean, it takes, how many hours does it take one route? I mean, a driver has many miles, and they were out that morning and it blew in after that. So it's, I think people need to know, this isn't, it's not completely clear all the time.
It's about half of their shift that takes to do one pass, so they can probably make 2 cycles in a shift.
Yeah, and just for the people, when there's a storm event and schools are closing, the roads are bad. I mean, and then if you want to travel at your own risk, then you can do, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but don't complain that the roads aren't plowed when it's a blizzard warning out and you are traveling. Why aren't the roads clear? It's like, because it's a blizzard.
Certainly. And I guess also, we like to hear if people complain, because we don't see everything. We do have a new citizen complaint portal.
iWorks.
People can go online and register their complaint, and then that logs it in our system, and then we can follow up, and then they're able to track that.
So, Mr. Chair, so I've been working with Jonah on this to make it a little bit more elaborate. Nathan put something in the paper too. So if you go onto our Becker County website, it sticks out. If you've got to report a road issue, now it would be snow, drifting, single lane stuff. But in the spring, we can
Do
get
not call your
culvert.
commissioner.
We can get culverts plugged, but it's a great way to interact with, I mean, Jonah gets that at his desk. He is the road maintenance supervisor. He's the one that you can make a request to. So I've talked with Jonah a little bit about making it a little bit more user-friendly, and we put the icon on the homepage, so we'll get that out there. It's a great thing for the community, for customers, our county residents to use. And you know what? We got 670 miles worth of roads. We don't get to every road every day. But the people who drive it do, and they can tell us where there's an issue. Signs
I'll
out.
give an example. Yesterday, yesterday I think, or Sunday evenings late. I don't know where the snow came from. But all of a sudden, there's some drifting going on. I'm like, I didn't know where it snowed much, but it must have been enough to drift a little bit. Now, we can't go on every road to see, so we need those inputs to say, hey, this road is blocked. And sometimes it's not county staff. We contract some of the lower use roads. And maybe that contractor thought, there's nothing down there, and there is. I've had that, and I've got a call, and we go, he didn't go down that road because you just didn't think there'd be much.
You know, the software also lets you upload pictures to the, now Jonah's going to be receiving all this. Now remember, you need to know if it's a township road or a state road, because we only deal with county roads, but still.
If you take a picture, does it pin it onto the?
It does. There's a feature. You should go on. You should all go on and use it. You can take it right to the spot.
Maybe give a demo of this at a next meeting.
You don't have to give a demo. It's not rocket science.
No,
just go on our site, and there it is right there.
The public can.
We had.
No, but
pull it up.
I'm talking a picture and showing how it can.
Click on the. Click on the paper there. Okay. Yep. So you talked about the icon on the right-hand side here. We've got Becker County on there. You just drag that pin right there to wherever your issue is. You put in your name and a number and some contact information, and It's easy to use.
I got to use it.
You can't type in an address?
Yep, you can type in an address too if you want to, and then the pin will automatically go there.
Soil and
Oh, there,
water,
type in address.
soil and water has a similar feature for noxious weeds.
Nice.
All right, that's actually really good.
I'll tell my husband every time he complains to me about a county road.
Yes, do that, yep.
Can do that.
Well, it's very easy and convenient, so.
Yeah.
It's easy.
People can do it on their cell phones, so.
Pin it on my drive.
Mr. Chair, Jim, when will we be receiving that money, that 1.4? When will the county be receiving that?
Of the Sahafen?
For
The SAW money?
Yeah,
advance?
updated.
Oh, we've already requested that.
We've requested, when
Yep,
will it be in
so
before year
We
end?
made our last request here that past Thursday, and we'll have that by the end of the year, yep.
By the end of
Is
the year?
there any
okay.
way to, as a side note, put that in our financial blueprint when we see highway budget, when we see all the numbers?
It'll be noted, I would
You know,
assume.
so you can see where that balance is
Yeah.
about, annually.
But we want that to
Annually,
look
not-
good on the audit too, so
Well, it's-
that's what I'm concerned about.
But it'll be there by the end of the year.
Yeah, right.
but I mean, it's just nice to see where we're at on it
Yep.
annually.
You'd like to see the state aid balances, or?
At the end of the year, just to
Okay.
see, so you can see how much we have for next year moving
Okay.
forward. Just a dollar amount, and you told me this year, so I already know.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Kyle, you are our next contestant on planning and zoning.
Good morning.
Morning, Kyle.
Good planning commission recommendations from December 3rd. Sole applicant, Vertical Bridge on behalf of Becker County, requesting a conditional use permit to construct a 255-foot self-support cell tower with a 10-foot lightning rod. I did want to make just one note on this. In the ordinance, there's a fall zone minimum of the tower height, so that'd be 265 plus 100 feet to a residential property line. The property to the south is tax forfeited. It's a large parcel, so it would be zoned ag. There is looks like probably a small leased cabin on it. So I would just suggest that there's a condition that that tower be that 265 plus 100, so it'd be 365 feet from that.
From that,
And that's not necessary because it's not a residential property, but it could, we could be, or just at least the tower height itself for that fall zone. It's not a requirement again because it's not zone residential, but.
So,
How do you want it to read?
yeah, how do you want it to read?
Even if so maybe 100 is a
Motion to
little
approve with a
condition of do
tower
300.
plus 100 fall zone away from a existing cabin?
Yeah.
So moved.
second,
All right, so we have a motion by Barry, a second by Erica. Do we have any more discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kyle, this Towers LLC that Mary brought up, is that the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So okay, so any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries. So now we've approved the lease too.
do we know, Kyle, about when the project will be completed?
I do not know.
Okay.
Is he still online?
Yep. Alex, if you can hear
Can you
us,
unmute him?
we're just wondering when the project will be started and completed, approximate. Maybe he can't hear us.
We can call him and I'll
Yeah.
send out an email.
Verizon?
It's Vertical Bridge. I don't,
They must. Their company may be building the tower and subbing it over to.
That was my understanding too, is that it would be Verizon.
Numerous.
But it's an area that's much needed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, do we have anything else? Just a reminder that we have our commissioner's tea after the meeting, so All of you are invited to
Free cookies and
cookies and
Great company.
no tea.
Yep.
All right, we are adjourned.
We're at like